Okay. See how it's going here. Okay. All right, I'll wait for some people to come in. I know this is a little late, but sometimes that happens when your class runs late. All right. Okay. Just a quick question. Everyone can hear me okay? All right. Looks like folks are coming in. Okay, y'all can hear me? Excellent. You know what? Time to hit the intro. All right, here we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Bandwidth. A lot of you already know the regular spiel when it comes to this, but for those of you who don't or might be new to the channel, Bandwidth is my regular, mostly weekly series where I go in depth on what tends to be popping off on Bandcamp. Part of my desire to, well, share my general experience indulging in that platform with all of you, because really I need something to do with that time. I've been busy the past couple of months, really. I kind of started a streaming series at the worst possible time. It is what it is. All right, what's up with me? Well, first off, I want to register some apologies. I'm currently taking a class right now, and that tends to mean that my schedule on Thursday nights is a little compressed. The class runs from 6 to 8. Thankfully, it's all like virtual, so I can like plug in, eat dinner at the same time, and go through it. But sometimes they're doing like practice questions and stuff at the end, or if there's Q&A, I do want to be there for that. So that's part of the reason what I'm working on right now. That's the reason why I'm late this evening. Outside of that, halftime show. Personally loved it. Do I want to talk about the halftime show? Do I even want to talk about the Super Bowl? Because I kind of feel like I've seen so much Super Bowl discourse. It's kind of whipsawed all over the place. And I kind of feel like I've got opinions on it, but I also don't think they're unique opinions. Um, Part of it, for one, for me, is that one thing I will respect, and this is a part that immediately comes off of it, and because I've seen a lot of people who do not like the halftime show because Kendrick prioritized playing stuff from his later albums, including GNX. And Kendrick has said that was intentional. He wanted to play stuff that was more in line with where he currently is. And I saw a comment from a podcast, and the comment was, well, look, if Kendrick is looking to provoke the audience, do things in his own lane, why should we denigrate him if it's not the set list that you want or otherwise expect? I feel like that's an interesting argument because a lot of us are conditioned by what we would expect from a Super Bowl halftime performance. And what he did, especially with some of the song choices like Man at the Garden or even Peekaboo, that not playing the biggest hits allows him to kind of claim his own narrative, draw attention to certain things in his own way. I think that's somewhat true. It's also counterbalanced by the fact that anything that he would have to do has to go through Jay-Z and Rock Nation. And again, if you were trying to make an argument that he is being revolutionary in the space, I don't think you can really make that because, again, it is Jay-Z and Rock Nation. That being said, like, I also don't think Kendrick's trying to be revolutionary in the same way. I think there's elements of his material that can be more provocative, and he certainly is getting away with more than damn near the majority of Super Bowl halftime performers. And his brand of provocation is going to work and pissing off the right people that it's going to piss off. But I'm also like not expecting radicalism from Kendrick Lamar. I think that it effectively functioned in what it was trying to do. It was a good show. I would just question how much you look deeper into it because I'm not sure. I think some of it is there. I think it's there if you look for it. And I think that's good. But I feel like there's a limit to how much that sort of entertainment can actually go, especially when you're in a mainstream media product bankrolled by Jay-Z. So, yeah, that's my general assessment of where all that's going. As for the Super Bowl, Chiefs got dog walked, to quote so many, belt to ass. I'm not surprised by that in any way. The Chiefs have been dancing through raindrops all year. I think it's a bigger indictment on the Bills that they weren't able to put the Chiefs away. I think some of that is just they're in their own heads at this point. But at this time, like again, Philly's going to be strong for a while, especially with some of the picks they've recently had in the draft. Granted, we also thought that Nick Foles' team was going to do really, really well because that was a stacked roster as well. But again, it's going to be very interesting to see how well Philly will manage to balance out what they have going forward. Especially as I thought they were going to take a step back, losing Jason Kelsey in the offensive line, and that didn't really happen. So again, that's a testament to coaching and culture, which is weird to say about Nick Sirianni. All right, let's take a look at some of the comments here. Drake sort of did it to himself. Drake's doing a lot of things to himself that are not reflecting well on this. Uh, Drake's very clearly in album promotion mode, but there's also the more I'm seeing around this collaboration project with Party Next Door, the less I have good thoughts about it. Especially when it's highlighted that there's other Mississauga artists that P&B had talking to and may have ripped off in some way. Also, a lot of the rabbit stuff, Freddie Gibbs pointed at it and kind of laughed at, hey, they took my rabbits. Which, again, it wouldn't be unfamiliar for Drake to appropriate from other things that he doesn't really have much of a claim to. But again, it's way too. I'm seeing the project 74 minutes long. Does anyone want to hear a Drake and Party Next Door album that is 74 minutes long? I mean, seriously? Really? Okay. All right, let's take a look what else is here. Good to me, ran a little late. Finished the new Wombats album before the stream started. Ooh, I want to hear the new Wombats album. That I'm curious about. If that actually is dropping on like tomorrow, that is high on my list of things I want to hear. DC Tom reskeed a Doomtree videos or do karaoke to their own songs. Uh wouldn't surprise me. Like the karaoke to its own songs, that's something on Blue Sky right now. I found that Twitter account recently. That's pretty cool. I like the artists doing karaoke to their own songs. That's a good trope. It's one of the reasons why I find the Out of Time video from The Weeknd to be so charming. Yeah, because it's honestly the best song on the album, and the video is immensely charming. All right. Hey, Mark, what is Bandwidth? I have a record coming out next week. I've talked about this before. Bandwidth is basically my live streaming series where we run through songs that are new on Bandcamp and could probably do with a decent little bit of exploration and shout out. It's kind of a bit of a live reaction stream. I also try to answer questions and comments from what's going on in the chat around here, trying to make things a little bit looser and lighter, a little bit more chill. We try to get on some ambient nonsense, a little bit of the jazz is always welcome. And again, in a lot of these cases, a lot of it is very low key. If you're expecting a lot of like fire and brimstone, that doesn't tend to usually happen. Sometimes we find great little Easter eggs and songs from out of nowhere. If anyone starts spamming cookies in the chat, that's one of them. I'd prefer not to elaborate on that one. All right, what else is here? I'm familiar with Charlie Crockett. Never really my thing. It might be your speed. Charlie Crockett's been on my radar for a while. I haven't had the chance to do the deep dive. Again, there's a lot of acts on my radar that I just have not had the chance to do the deep dive. And part of that right now is, I will say this, I believe Charlie Crockett's country, and goddamn, I am really short on country music this year. There hasn't been a lot that's really popped up in like the first couple of weeks of this year. There was that Courtney Patton project that I listened to, but that was more adult alternative and trying to adapt some of the blues stuff that her husband Jason Eady's been doing as well. That I think she doesn't quite land as well as he did. But again, like I'd like to have a couple good country albums come on my docket. That'd be swell. Check out Peggy's director cut of the new album. I don't tend to check out deluxe editions of albums. It's not my thing. Same reason I'm not checking out Sabrina Carpenter's short and sweet deluxe. I have no desire to do it. Like, Again, I have enough new music. I am not particularly interested in the deluxe reissue. The only reason I did it with SZA was because Lana really is its own thing in comparison with SOS. And the more listens I've given Lana, the more I'm convinced of that, and also convinced that my review is very much holding up. You realize this year just seemed broadly slow. I wouldn't say that per se. I think they've been a little weird this year. One of my favorite albums thus far this year are coming from Sewer, from the Weather Station, and from Ethel Kane. Well, from Ethel Kane's Drone Ambient album. Like that's an odd year for me to start off. I will say that. Although I will say that Sewer album is friggin' awesome. Also, I do feel very distinctly awkward that I've been mispronouncing that band's name for damn near a decade. I'm very happy I'm correcting that. What else is here? Taking the new LS Dunes record, feel it's up your alley. I've heard things about that. It's kind of in my sphere. It would depend if I have time to actually get to it again, because the record listing is going to start picking up, and March is going to be stupid. There's so much coming out in March. All right, let's see. You have a favorite era of Aphex Twins? I like the Richard James project. I like Selected Ambient Works Volume 2. For when it comes to Aphex Twin, I'm not that far outside of the norm when it comes to it. Although I will say Drux is underrated. Like I think Drux has held up a lot better than I think some people will give it credit. And when that album got reviewed, I was not happy. I went back and read a bunch of old Aphex Twin reviews, and you can clearly tell when some people just bounce off something really badly. Yeah. All Students is very much supergroup music. It's solid, but like average everyone's in the band styles. Uh, yeah, that makes sense. Excited for Black Country New Road. I don't know. I don't know. I reviewed the lead single on my Instagram and on my TikTok. And so go subscribe to that Spectrum Pulse IG TikTok. I I don't know. I just don't know. First off, a little bit of embarrassment there on my part. I'm saying Isaac Brock instead of Isaac Wood in the entire review. Isaac Brock is from Modest Mouse, and while that collaboration would be very funny, that was a millennial moment, I guess I'll call it. The one thing I will say is I don't dislike it. I think the theatricality is interesting. I think there is an edge and a meatiness to Black Country New Road that is not there on that leadoff single. I want to see where they're going. I'm willing to give it a fair shot. All right. It looks like Death Grips may have broken up. Death Grips has been I have issues. Okay, here's the thing. I have long thought Death Grips was done after Year of the Snitch. I kind of felt like they had kind of ran their course. Uh, the problem here is that Death Grips has been trying to stay active thanks to a lot of the live shows, and then the audience roundly proving that I'm not sure the audience deserved Death Grips or ever really understood Death Grips because they embraced a lot of memeing, ironic nonsense. And I'm sorry, like I found that like Death Grips did some of that to themselves. That is true. But at the same time, Death Grips also spoke to much more intense emotions and much more serious subject matter than I think they always got. I think they got credit. I think there was a certain irony poisoning that came in and around Death Grips that didn't help them. And honestly, it led to the band being taken less seriously than they should be. And I mean that specifically by those who just want to make them a meme, because Death Grips was always more than just a meme, especially lyrically, because their MC Ride, for as visceral as his performance was, he was saying things. Yeah, Kelsey, it's been about almost a half year of membership. Yeah, yeah, this thing's been going on. Well, yeah, shoot, this bandwidth has kind of been active in some way, shape, or form for about half a year. I haven't done as many sessions, but it just takes time. And I also took a considerable break around the holidays for everyone's health, including my own. Heard any of the new spelling or Japanese breakfast this week? I have not. It just has not had a chance to pop on my radar. Again, I've been busy. Like again, I've doing a lot of actually other stuff alongside things as well. Plus, I have Valentine's Day prep. I had things I had to get done. Help me understand Death Grip's lyrics. I'm too okay. Um, Here's the thing. Death Grips is impressionistic. Death Grips is the sort of act that has a lot of not hidden meaning. It's very much in it's explicit, it's violent, it's in your face. It's a bit stream of consciousness, and I wouldn't describe it as something that is immediately comprehensible. As you get it more as emotion than you do as like a studied plot or direct thesis statement. Now, that being said, there are some songs that are absolutely on the mark in terms of what they are saying, especially around police brutality and police violence and dehumanization. But I will say that there are other songs that are more that are necessarily more abstract, and you kind of have to be willing to engage with them on that emotional level. Yeah. Is is there a new long form video essay on the horizon? Phew. I don't think so. I'd question so this year, because this year for me, I've got a lot of other IRL stuff going on. If you know, you know. So I'm not sure. I think it would be. I've got a bunch of scripts I'm a significant way through, but I would need to finish them, and that would also involve me getting ahead of other stuff, and I don't see it being that realistic this year. Potentially, and like I've long thought about wanting to do another one of those top 10 lists of the best or worst hit songs of various year. I feel like a lot of those have kind of fallen off the map, and I feel like that's kind of a shame because those lists are a lot of fun, and I'd be open to reopening some of those cans of worms. But again, they also require a ton of work, so it would just be a matter of time. And again, I still have a day job. All right. Yeah, people. Have you enjoyed the new Clipping singles? Haven't heard them. Clipping is one of those acts I kind of want to hear as a holistic album experience, and that's going to be very interesting to see where they go, especially if they're going more towards cyberpunk, which again they kind of already touched on a little bit with Splendor and Misery, but again, like where they're going now, 5 years after Visions of Body, 5 years after the 2020 album, be very interesting to see. Are you a fan of David Lynch's movies or not your thing? I haven't seen enough David Lynch movies to fully answer that comprehensively. Like that's kind of the thing. My music knowledge is much deeper than my film knowledge, and I've seen a few David Lynch movies, and I like David Lynch. I really like Twin Peaks, but I think again, sometimes I don't always feel like I'm the best equipped to speak to them. All right. Okay, what else is here? I think pretty soon we're gonna be hopping right into the music because again, like it's gonna be a bit of a shorter episode tonight because again, I am tired. It's been a long couple of weeks. But also at the same time, I also want to make sure that people get a fair share of what's been dropping. One thing I will say is that there's been a lot of compilations that have dropped recently on Bandcamp. I do a little preemptive charting of how much time these episodes will normally take out. This one, there's a lot of compilations. I don't normally cover compilations. There's also some live stuff that I generally skip over. So it'll be interesting to see what we get here. And once again, I always say with Bandcamp on Fridays, it is Bandcamp Friday, where the vast majority of the proceeds go to the artist, or in some cases charities. If you want to buy music from these acts, artists can really need them. Again, if you want to show your support, do it beyond just watching me here. Yeah. All right. You know what? Let's kick into it. Okay. We are here. Let's get that's my chat, that's my browser. Let's interact with things. Let's go to Bandcamp Daily. Let's go to Album of the Day. All right, this is from Denison Witmer. Ben Salman. Oh, wait a minute, that's the author who wrote this piece. This looks like it's alternative music. Apparently affiliated with Sufjan Stevens. All right, this could be interesting. Curious where the sound is going to take us. The album is called Anything at All. The song is called A House With. Let's give it a listen.
I wanted to have a house full of bird life, so I went out and bought feeders, bags of seed, hooks and chains.
This is very Spare.
Hung them all around the yard.
Also, I can definitely hear the Sufjan influence.
Just outside of every window.
Oh, it's pretty.
Goldfish, jungle, flicker, waxwing, titmouse, bunting, filling up my heart again, filling up my heart again.
Discovering Sufjan produced this, it makes a lot of sense. I can hear him. I hear Sufjan.
So I went out, bought planters, starts and seeds, and bags of soil. Put them out in every room, in the corners of the land. Geranium, jade tree.
Oh, this is just endlessly pleasant. Very pastoral.
Filling up my heart again. Filling up my heart again.
Oh, I got the chimes. Get the chimes. Woo! That's a really good lead melody, too.
I wanted to have a house full of life and meaning,
I mean, I want a house, too.
but everything is wild and fleeting. It comes and goes, repeating.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting a lot of Michigan vibes, too. That was A House With by Denison Witmer from the album Anything at All. Wow, that was pleasant. That was very, very nice. Again, I'm seeing a lot of comparisons. Again, when you have Sufjan Stevens producing, you do get a kind of an idea of what the sound and presentation is going to be. This is not surprising to me. I will say I really like that lead guitar line. Again, you can draw the comparison to Michigan era Sufjan Stevens. I think the writing is sweet. The choral backdrop I like. I actually liked those rougher drums. I liked that they felt more organic. One of the issues I've had with Sufjan Stevens in recent years is a lot of the integration of electronics, which I don't think I'm a big fan of. I like something that feels a little bit more ragged here. It helps cut down on the twee side that just tends to bounce off me in most ways. But yeah, that was kind of nice. Like that was a really good start. Yeah, I like that. All right, let's keep moving. Album of the day here. Let's keep going on to the next one. Kestrels, Better Wonder. Let's take a look at this. Better Wonder. Okay, we got some shoegaze here from Scotland. Uh, I appreciate anything that's named Kestrels. It's very fantasy. I appreciate that. And I'm just gonna get the name of the song. The song is called "Free Forever" from the album "Better Wonder" by Kestrels. Let's give it a listen.
These walls of everything I've tried, closing in on every
Oh, this is so 90s.
world's unknown, worlds apart, and it's only just begun to be what I want. Now to find a place to hide, never sure if it's the time.
Yeah, it's very 90s. I'm trying to tweak this a little bit here.
Worlds apart, and it's only just begun.
Yeah, I agree. It's not really slow dive. It's not heavy enough. It's pretty. I don't like. It's definitely a very radio-friendly version of this kind of shoegaze. They're getting a little bit of Britpop vibes as well.
It's
It's pleasant, but I'm not. Again, I'm not really wowed by it. Yeah, the guitar work is really good. Not really getting a lot of bass out of it though. That was Free Forever by Kestrels from the album Better Wonder. That was pretty good. I wouldn't call it exceptional. I think the one thing is that one thing you very, very quickly come to recognize with shows like this is that you're often going to encounter a song that is very nice. It's solid. It catches your ear, but it doesn't feel exceptional. It hits the right notes. It gets the hook into the right place. I think that the overall production is good, but not great. I feel like the bass could have been a little bit more robust, do something that's a little bit more interesting. But also this brand of throwback, kind of quasi Britpop shoegaze is something I've heard a lot before. This is certainly a more accessible brand of it. And that's kind of where I do fall on the lead singer. I actually don't dislike it. It just feels a little underwhelming as a whole. Yeah, again, not bad, but I would struggle to call it all that special. Eh, it was all right. Again, when you're this many albums in, it's not all that surprising. Yeah, decent. All right, and again, the guitar's very, very good. Let's keep moving here. All right, that's a compilation from the 80s. Let's go into this one here. From Helen Ganya, Share Your Care. What do we talk? What genre here? Alternative. Okay, that's not helping me at all. What are we looking at? All right, this is Singapore raised Scottish Thai. Currently, it lives in Brighton. Okay. I'm not sure what the sound of this is going to be. We got the title track as the song we got coming up. Let's give it a shot. Okay, that's interesting. I'm not sure what the rhythm is doing here. I'm willing to accept I might not understand this on first listen. Yeah, those thicker electronic rock elements are an interesting choice with her voice. The groove is just doing a lot of interesting things here too. Who do we blame? Those vocals with the pipes is interesting. You know what, Chaos, I agree with you. You get this to Quelle, Chris. He would flip this. There's a lot going on, for sure. I don't know how I feel. That was Share Your Care, the title track from Helen Ganya. Okay. Why is my mouse being sticky? Come on, move. All right. Move. All right, there we go. Okay, so that was cool. I don't think I fully love it, but I kind of, yeah, Allie, I get that because it's one of those songs you feel like there's a lot of elements that lead to interesting things, like how the groove kind of shambles forward, built off that buzzing electronic rock, and it picks up a lot more elements of diversity in the percussion. And then you have the pan flutes alongside, or they sound like pan flutes, alongside what also those very thin vocals alongside. I would expect something a little bit throatier to really command this mix, and you don't really get that. And like it's willowy, it's interesting. It very much feels like cultural exchange in a very interesting intersection. I feel like that intersection is not going to be for a lot of people, and that kind of like I appreciate it. It was interesting. I'm not going to hear anything else like it, but I'm not sure I fully love it. That's kind of where I'm sitting at. A lot of Journey, but no Arrival. Yeah, I can kind of see that too. I feel like I don't love the hook there either. I feel like the choice to slow things down to get more reserve for the hook may have been a mistake. I kind of wanted to hear an explosion or like this. It kept like it was building towards something and it never really paid it off. But still intriguing. It will be for someone. All right, next one. Oh boy, here we go. All right. Bit of a story here. This is the next album I'm covering in one of my reviews, and it's getting tons of critical acclaim. So, yeah, this might be a bit of a preview to what I have to say for said review. But this is Oklou. The album is called Choke Enough. And what song am I going to savor here? Because I already heard the album a couple of times. The song do we have? Oh, Bladebird. Okay. Bladebird is not the one with underscores, or not the one with Blade either. All right, fine. So we got Bladebird from Oklou from the album Choke Enough. Let's give it a shot. And let's get the background to get the right colors here.
I've come to terms, my baby is a bird. When you're in the sky, I'm hoping you return. What can I say? Knew it right away. You love what you are, and I feel like a cage. You're so cute, my fate is on the birds. I'll be the one who ends up getting hurt. I can't help it.
That cute little guitar at the back is nice.
I'll be the one who ends up getting hurt.
This is so 2000s. Oh my gosh.
And when you land, curled up in my hands, feathers come and go. Oh, don't you understand? I need you now, and I miss you when the wings I fell in love with take you away again. You're so cute, my face.
Yeah, wow.
I'll be the
Came back to 2002 already.
ones up getting hurt. I can't help it. Fate is on the birds. I'll be the one who ends up getting hurt. How can I be out? How can I be? Your clouds on the beat. You're quite up. See that so you use your face. I know that you will feel, baby. I can say, how can I be your clown? The one that doesn't have an end. Arms that are all around. Or should I hold while I can see that you feel it down?
She's got a knack for melody. I will give her that consistently.
But you're not the only one who's afraid of losing something. You're so cute, my fate is on the birds. I'll be the one who ends up getting hurt.
You're right with that, Britt, and we'll get back to that in a second.
Fate is on the birds. I'll be the one who ends up getting hurt.
Aw, that's sweet. That was Blade Bird by Oklou from the album Choke Enough. All right. I'm not going to spoil too much with this one because I am going to be reviewing this album either tomorrow or Saturday. I'm going to say this. It's good. It's weird when I'm hearing something where it's very clearly nostalgic for an era of pop I grew up with and had mixed opinions on at the time. So I don't really have nostalgia for it. It's just that the mixed opinions have carried over from when I was a preteen and now they're manifesting when I'm in my 30s. Yeah, like it does not surprise me that I don't like making the Imogen Heap comparison because this is nowhere near as melodically weird as Imogen Heap got, because there's an element here that felt relatively conventional. Like it's a sticky pop melody, but it is a pop melody. The one conversation I always have with Oklou is that I often feel like I'm hearing the foundations or skeleton of a song rather than a lot that fills in the gaps. And in a funny way, the comparison I keep hearing a lot is Grimes. But the thing with Grimes is Grimes had a very technicolor, splatter painting, go for broke approach that Oklou is way too tasteful for. So it's going to be interesting. That was pretty. It was nice. But whether or not it rises beyond just being nice or pretty or actually has some of that magnetism for me, I'm not sure it does. Yeah, very catchy. Again, it's very 2000s. It's very much tied to it. I kind of want to sit with. I am sitting with the album more. Maybe it's going to grow on me. Maybe it'll be a favorite. But again, it's tasteful. Again, I'm not going to be. I was not wowed by that, and I didn't think the writing went above and beyond either. Especially when you have the idea that the vocals, to me, they're this very hushed, very cooing, slightly synthetic blend that comes with a lot of hyperpop, and I tend to bounce off of a little bit. I get what it's trying to do in trying to have those walls built up, reinforced aesthetically by the processing. But I think at some point you run into a limit of how far that can take you. And it's also a trick I've been hearing for damn near 20 years at this point. Yeah, again, the album is intriguing. I'll be talking more about it soon. Stay tuned. All right, let's get moving here. Okay, Bandcamp. Let's go. Scroll down here. Let's get through the compilations here. There's a couple of things that we need to make sure of, and I'm just trying to check through my notes here. Because I've got separate pages of notes here. First one here is a compilation for LA. We're going to be passing that. This isn't one up next. This is from Anthony Joseph, Rowing Upriver to Get Our Names Back. I believe this is jazz. Yep, Afrofuturist jazz. Okay, the song we have is called Satellite, featuring Eska. Let's give it a shot.
Spiral of notations, effervescent halo, compounding the word, image, sound, mirage, visage, ages old and tumbling still through eternity. Bliss is in this nervous system. Scope of feeling is a rush in the air. It grooves and expands and vibrates through chromosomes of bliss. Atonal, tonic, tonal, tonic, and tone.
Yeah.
Omega and alpha.
Just like this is kind of my shit too. Ooh! Oh.
Axis where the sky spun.
Almost give me a groove there.
Upscales the imprint of living sound, glow, liquid fire, breath, ooze. Split the tongue, split the age, split the rage, still kept glowing while blood ran down to the beginning of the bell.
They're teasing, but they're going well. This is good. This is very specific to a certain psychedelic brand of jazz that I remember hearing like out of the 70s. A little bit of Sly and the Family Stone here. A little D'Angelo as well. This is giving me some D'Angelo, the Black Messiah vibes.
Galaxies and diasporas, and still at the center of all it is. You build a wall, we go under. You build it higher,
Ooh.
we go. Figment of the cosmos, as infinite as a child. Yeah. Peeping through my fingers as I fly through the sky.
Oh, I like this. This is good.
We go under. You build it higher. We go.
Daria, when they describe this as spoken word, that's kind of how they're playing into it. Ooh! Alright, I like that fuzz guitar at the back. That's nice. Ooh! Ooh, baby. Yeah! Oh, I'm feeling this. This is great. Ooh. It's starting to test my patience. We're running a little long here. That was Satellite featuring Eska from the project from Anthony Joseph, Rowing Upriver to Get Our Names Back. Afrofuturist, jazzy, but also psychedelic. There, you can very clearly trace the lineage of music like this, and I really liked that. I liked how the fuzz guitar was buried back in there, had a little bit of sizzle. I liked the spoken word presence. I would need some time to really process what it was saying, but it seemed pretty direct in terms of where it was going, in terms of its themes of transcendence. Again, I didn't. The length started to push me at the very end, but honestly, that's nitpicking. I think the feminine backing vocals were blended in well. Again, if I'm making a D'Angelo comparison, I'm doing something's being done right there. Yeah, that was impressive. Again, the groove was great. The drums were great. That psychedelic vibe. It feels like this is a shaggier version and a jazzier version of some places that Janelle Monáe could have taken some of her deep cuts off the Arcandroid, and she never has. Like, because she had that psychedelic flair buried on some of the deep cuts of that album, and she never really doubled down on it. And I would have loved to see it in a lane like this, because that I could feel like she could really nail, especially with a groove this good. But again, I'm now dreaming for something. Right now, I'm hoping to hell that she gets away from Bad Boy. All right, next up. We got some pop music. This is from a Berlin artist, Awing. The album's called Poison Ivy. The song is called Sugar Rush. pretty short track. The Jenny Doshi collab. Yeah, I did hear about that. Chaos. It's actually like it'll like somebody mentioned it to me in my Discord. All right, let's hear some. We got some blush, emotionally raw R&B that also leans on pop. Let's give it a shot. The song is called Sugar Rush. Ooh. That's not great enough.
You make me feel so good, yeah, you got me addicted. You got my favorite moves, don't say loud, don't say loud.
It's more sophisti-pop than new disco, I think.
Nothing lasts forever.
Like, it's super tasteful.
Enjoy this moment's pleasure. We got a beautiful
Definitely more in the R&B lane.
Why don't we surrender? Sugar, if you like me, you know what excites me.
I like how playful she sounds. It is very silly, though, if you take a look at the lyrics. Ooh, nice string stuff, though.
Let's enjoy this moment's pleasure. We got a beautiful connection. Why don't we surrender? Why don't you just sugar, if you like me, you know what excites me. Got a cake to my ice and the sweet to my spicy. So sweet, sugar, if you like me.
This is very pleasant. I like this a lot. The sweet to my spicy is certainly a choice. It's certainly cute. Like, this is very clearly setting up some very adult branded fun. Thank you, Cam. I appreciate that. All right, that's Sugar Rush from Awing. The album is called Poison Ivy. It's more of an EP. That was extremely cute. Again, I don't think it was doing a lot that I would call revolutionary for this brand of pop and R&B. It was certainly, again, some of the string touches were nice. I liked the groove. It's certainly catchy. I liked her vibe a lot. Because it was very playful. It was such a light touch. Lyrics are a little silly. I think a lot of the food metaphors can be overextended. Everyone's citing cookie. Yeah, obviously. Although that song is just like wonderful and a genius move. And I stand by that song as being like an undersung 2024 standout. Probably should have made my year-end list. Anyway, but yeah, that was very nice. Like, it was very, very sweet. I'm not sure there's a lot to it. It kind of it just runs for like 2.5 minutes. There's not a lot to it overall. But again, like, you don't need a lot when it's executed so cleanly. That, if positioned well, could do well in a... I would think, like, would it do well on TikTok? I don't think it would. Because it's a little too adult to go on TikTok. And I feel like for a younger audience, I don't think that clicks. I don't know. Like, Pink Pantheress can get away with some of that. Can get away with something like that. I don't think she could. Yeah, cookie get crispy indeed. All right, let's keep moving. This is a compilation, which I'm gonna skip over. Hey, Brother Ali. It's been a while since I've talked about Brother Ali. Album's called Satisfied Soul. And we're dealing with the title track here, from what I can tell. All right, I generally liked Brother Ali at some point. I kind of followed on and off the bandwagon with him. Let's give this a shot. That's very fizzy.
I would have followed you to hell and back. In my mind, I never
Wait, this
asked
is
you
not
for
at.
anything back. I came at you with love, just looking for mercy. It was never your fault. The world made me unworthy. I showered you in admiration. Was fascinated, not exaggerating at all. My God, you're that amazing. Decades later, I peel back the layers. Actually traded in loyalty for your validation. You never asked to be a father to this grown-ass son. Can't fault you for the fact you never acted like one. I demanded the one thing impossible to give. If it's real, it's gotta come from within. If it's unhealthy, I know that that's at least half me. But I might just need to leave that be. Sometimes it needs to be that growth and adjustment. The hearts are never closed, they're just under construction. But what then? Human beings are mysterious things. It's a body with a spirit that wiggle the strings.
Yeah, this is Mysterious Things. It's not the title track.
And a lot of times hearing it stings. Human beings are mysterious things. Lot of stress with the lesson experience brings. The truth doesn't always appear as it seems. And a lot of times hearing it stings. When you say to me, I don't want to lead you, I want to be equals, I'm trying to believe you. If we truly are peers, I need it to appear and be clear in our equity, respecting our ideas. What I want to know, as far as partnership go, if
he's very chill on this.
if you're not in control,
He used to have a lot, there used to be a little bit more of an edge to him, and I'm not really getting with this.
You would never be open to. Maybe I can grow, but I'll never be grown to you. Now that I know that, what the hell am I supposed to do? It's so true. I couldn't have become me without you. I also couldn't become the next me around you. Think I might be doing better than ever before. I don't even argue with you.
There's a really uncomfortable tension here in this track.
That's just not an argument that
Funny thing you say that, Odo. This is not a comfortable relationship at all.
It's a body with the spirit that wiggle the strings. The truth doesn't always appear as it seems.
This is a song about it. I think his relationship with his dad.
Human beings are mysterious things. Lot of stress with the lesson experience brings. The truth doesn't always appear as it seems. And a lot of times hearing it stings. Our first relationship is with the supreme being. Whatever language it is you use for the source of meaning. All the pain and the anger and questions, I hope they graduate to gratitude and acceptance. The second is the bond that we build with our own selves. Lifetime of trauma, memories, and our folk tales. Hope you feel at home in the home where your soul dwells. From your receiving hairline to your toenails, we mix it with our mamas and our first romances. Our childhood circumstances and our
this is not a comfortable relationship.
Below it there's a universal load that you carry to the banquet before the first hello. There's a universe going on inside us all. It's always trying to unite and divide us all. That's a factory setting, it's just by default. Just trying to reflect a little light is all. Yes, y'all, human beings are mysterious things.
That's a great guitar line. I'm just going to emphasize that.
The truth doesn't always appear as it seems. And a lot of times hearing it stings. Yeah, that I mean, human beings are mysterious things. Lot of stress with the lesson experience brings. The truth doesn't always appear as it seems. And a lot of times hearing it stings.
Okay, that's Mysterious Things from Brother Ali. The album's called Satisfied Soul. I believe it's out tomorrow. Didn't love that one, I'll be honest. And for a number of reasons. I will give him credit. That guitar line is really good. I like the groove to this. He rides it exceptionally well. Brother Ali is a good rapper. Did not love the drums. When Ant produces these sorts of drums, I wish that there was a little bit more meat to them. I think if you had a slightly louder or more organic drum line, I think that really could have been effective. The other thing about this is I had the lyrics in front of me, so I was following it. This appears to be a relationship with, it looks to be his father. And you can tell there's mixed emotions there. Well, actually, even if it's not his dad, the mixed emotions on display, there's a real fine balance between the elements that are trying to be above it all, trying to be more consoling, and the ones where you could tell that there's still some of the spore remains in that wound. And it's it's a little uncomfortable if you start paying attention to the fine details. Like, it is intriguing. It is a complicated relationship. And I've seen relationships that are like this, where you can't exactly approach it with, like, where it's not straightforward one way or the other. And I appreciate the complexity in the framing of it. I'm not sure it matches this production very well, and I'm not sure it's not something I would want to easily go back to. Like I like okay, Kendrick Lamar comparison. We Cry Together. I love that song, but I don't go back to it much because that is very much an uncomfortable relationship, and that's the sort of thing that is tough to revisit in this context. I hear this and I'm like, it's much more reserved. It's got a lot more flow to it, but I'm also like, I don't know about this one. I don't know. It's not bad by any means. I think for the right audience, it's really going to click. It just did not click for me. That's all. Let's keep moving. All right. Compilation. Okay, so this is a compilation from Final Fantasy. We are not doing a Final Fantasy comp right here. This is a compilation of 60s folk music. We're not doing that. Okay, finally, time. Ambient bullshit. Let's go. This from Parallel Relax. I believe this is, it's only 4 minutes. Awesome. The song's called Cassiopeia. The album is called Twilight. Let's give it a shot. Get some mellow lights up in here. There we go. This is exactly what I need. I don't know. As I've gotten older, I've really fallen for ambient music. Very spare though. Like there's not a lot going on. Like you can tell there's the guitars, there's a couple touches of pianos, a lot of atmosphere. I'm gonna turn it up a little. Well, hey Lewis, I've done that before, I did the on the pulse episodes that were all ambient, and I had where I did my little ASMR thing, and that was actually really fun to do. And then I brought it up for the album, the Andre 3000 album from a couple years ago. This is really, really nice. It's not doing a lot when it comes to the ambient music. I'm not going to say this is top tier, but it is very, very chill. Almost to the point where I'm expecting the riffs to come crashing in and you get black metal screaming, but like, again, I was listening to Unrequited today, so what do you want from me? the synth that came in the background there was was all right. All right, that was Cassiopeia from the album by Parallel Relax. The project's called Twilight. That was all right. Again, the incredibly smooth, liquid vibes. Yeah, it was very pleasant. Like again, I feel like the piano and the guitar were well integrated. I think the synth that came up at the end, I'm not sure they could have done a little bit more with that. But overall, yeah, in terms of good ambient music, I'm not going to complain about that. That was generally pleasant, but not, I would say, special. I reviewed the John Hopkins Music for Psychedelic Therapy album a couple of years ago. It was in one of my On the Pulse episodes. Didn't love it as much as some of the other ambient albums I covered that year. I believe in the same year I covered like the Loathe ambient album, and that one was excellent. Oh my gosh. Also, like the Keisha Crow album, I believe was that year as well. The Grand Brothers album. Yeah, there's a lot of ambient I like. So, yeah, not groundbreaking. I would agree. All right, soundtrack album. We skipped that. And next up, we from Carolyn Rose. Okay. She's following the art of forgetting with this album called The Year of the Slug. I appreciate the album art. I do love the album art. It feels very much of like I am so done with everything. The song is called Conversation with Shiv, Liquid K song. Oh boy. All right, folks, let's give this a shot.
How the hell are you? I guess I'm doing fine. Hard to believe it's been such a damn long time. So you got another burn in the oven, and you're getting an abortion. But all that
Whoa.
It's gone now that your grandma's dead. But you still wanna be somebody. Yeah, you're gonna be somebody. Let's get together at the downtown Hardee's. Ooh, it's been a long time coming, knowing you're around. They shut the sugar factory down and it's all condos now.
Oh, I'm feeling this.
It's been a long time coming, seeing your face. I think the last time I saw you, you were deep in a hole of liquid K. So you're still living outside New York.
Yeah, I don't love the production on this.
You can't afford a bubblegum situation, a hapless provocation, be a candlelit conversation, another lonely modern layman. But you still wanna meet somebody.
The writing is
You
good,
still
but
wanna
like,
be somebody. Let's go rob the Hobby Lobby. Did you ever figure out where the heart is? Ooh, it's been a long time coming, seeing you around. So the money ran up, but you get back dancing now. Yeah, it's been a long time coming, knocking at my door. I'm sorry how I left things with you, curled up on the bathroom floor. Really could have been a better friend, even though I really loved you then.
ooh, yeah.
Just like your daddy did. I really am so sorry, Chef. Losing on an 8-ball, hanging out at the Alamo, empty answer to the big guitar, sucking down the full of gold, jumping naked in the reservoir, smashing models on a brick wall. Can you pick me up in Baltimore? Yeah, I'm outside the Betty Ford.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm outside the Betty Ford. Yeah, I'm outside the Betty Ford. Yeah, I'm outside the Betty Ford.
Okay, that was from the album Year of the Slug by Carolyn Rose. The song is called Conversation with Shiv, Liquid K song. Okay, I want to be fair to this because I get the impression this song was featured and highlighted from the album more because it's trying to they want to show off the writing more than the production. And the writing is good. That really captures the feel of living a little bit too hard in your 20s and early 30s, and then you have friends who, well, you may have left on awkward or odd terms, and you're kind of shooting at each other. There's some barbs in that conversation where neither of them sound like they're doing all that well, and I like the level of detail that came through it. Like, it feels very lived in. But man, the production doesn't do a. Excuse me, sorry. The production does not do a lot. I was very disappointed with the production. Like, you had that guitar lick is good. I like how it kept that feeling of almost like a metronome. I like the slight switch up at the end. Yeah, but at the same time, I was sitting there and I'm like, you could have added a little more. There's a little bit like I was waiting for the switch up for where a hook and the guitar got a little louder or the bass drum like clattered in. It felt very programmed. It felt very canned. I don't know. It's the sort of song I want to like more than I do. And as someone who was kind of lukewarm on Carolyn Rose before, not sure this changed. Well, you know what? The writing steps up for it, but again, the music doesn't. Kind of a shame because again, there was potential there, and I certainly know enough people who would really, really love that. Like that gives me the feel of if I show this to my friends of a certain group, they will click with that real hard. I liked this on Miami a lot 2 years ago. Yeah, The Art of Forgetting was good 2 years ago. It's one of those albums I really should have gotten around to reviewing, but again, just ran out of time. All right. Okay, we got some post-punk here from Vulture Feather. It Will Be Like Now. Interesting. What will be like now? I'm curious now. The song is called Sweetest Friend. All right, let's give it a shot. Sweetest. Not getting Proto Martyr from this. No, I'm not getting Proto Martyr from this at all. I don't know about this one. I've heard a lot of post-punk like this. I don't know if I love the vocals here. The singer's got energy, like, but his delivery almost feels exaggerated. Like, I get less Proto Martyr. I almost get a bit of Dinosaur Jr. from this. Like, of a certain era of Dinosaur Jr. It's got groove to it. Yeah, I hear the Bob Mould on this as well. Absolutely. Like very 90s indie. Yeah, I saw the description too, Dario. It doesn't surprise me that they're sounding like this. That was Sweetest Friend from Vulture Feather. The album is called It Will Be Like Now. All right. I think I described a lot of what I was going through while I was listening to the song. Very 90s indie. I think a lot of the post-punk comparisons, you get some of it in the bass lines, but it doesn't really have that hollowed out like heft to it. I think the vocals, I think I'd like the vocals a little bit more if they were more present in the mix. They're a little exaggerated, but it feels like they're exaggerated to compensate for being a little bit further buried. And I'm not sure that was the right choice. I feel like, again, this is the sort of act that, like, the tune was good enough that I feel like they could have done a little bit more with it. When you also hear that a lot of these members were from a lot of previous bands, are kind of coming together to put something together now, and some of those bands date back for a while back, that certainly makes up a point. I also think that, again, this could have... I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm saying it's very much in a certain niche, and I don't always bounce off that niche well. That's all. It was all right, though. Next up, though, we have from Baths. We got some lush noise in like alternative pop. Song's called Sea of Man. Okay. Not sure what to expect with this. Like electronic pop, experimental pop. Again, song's called Sea of Man. It's from Baths. And the album's called Gut. All right, let's give it a listen. Nope, I do not take suggestions on these streams. This is simply what I go through on Bandcamp. Helps me control things.
Muddy down the mountainside, aging wolf and rotting hide, glaring at the feral tide, a human being borderline. Carnal is a normal mode, fucking all the men in droves. Son of God is never home when I come knocking on that door.
Oh, I might like this more than I should. It's fractured, but in the right way.
Howdy do all of the morning light, and the hair that is solidified. Carnal is a normal mode, fucking all the men in droves. Son of God is never home.
Yeah, I like this. This is fun.
I never knock anymore. You're for volume, the stink of the sea.
I like the hook here. It's like brittle and fractured, but the lead singer is good enough to hold it together on his own. And some of those watery textures around it are really nice. Oh, you gotta bring in the strings. Oh. I got the lyrics in front of me, and it's wild. Yeah, I might be interested in covering this because I'm enjoying this a lot. Oh, those strings sound so good. Yeah, the bass is really adding good foundation here. This is not going to be for everybody, and I get it, but like I really like this a lot. That was Sea of Men by Baths. The album is called Gut. I feel like I've heard of this act before and has never had the chance to properly explore them. And I've discovered that I'm missing out because that was great. A lot to really like there. I love how fractured the guitars were, but they did manage to materialize into a strong groove. I really, really like how well the strings underscored the lead singer. The lyrics are wild. The immediate comparison that actually came to my mind was Perfume Genius. But Perfume Genius is more intense. This feels like the intensity is there, but it kind of catches you off guard. And like the beauty kind of, it requires you put more in. Perfume Genius is confrontational. This is not. And now granted, when you look at the lyrics, it is shockingly visceral. Like this, you know what it kind of fits like? It feels like the split between Perfume Genius and Shoo Shoo, and with more of a pop focus. And that is something I want to hear more of. That was great. Really, really liked it. All right. Everyone's on their knees. Yeah. Yeah. Again, you get that kind of energy. Sometimes you need that kind of energy. All right. Next up. Okay. So I'm just going to talk about something that I'm thinking I'm going to institute with this show going forward, because one thing I've come to realize, and this is coming from when I track when bandwidth gets taken down, normally when it comes to copyright nonsense or anything like that, normally it comes with an extremely long song. And those are the ones where it just kind of like, because they tend to get like picked up, I don't know how often, maybe it's because more of the data is being stored. But at the same time, I think that a lot of the longer songs tend to be what do me in. So when I take a look at tracks here and I see one like, hey, 9 minutes of improvised jazz, I'm like, okay, that'd be tough to sit through as it is. But in the meantime, I'm also thinking for the sanctity of the stream and also trying to keep things moving, I'm going to be skipping over this next one here. And besides, we got Squid up next. I like Squid. All right. It's from Squid's new album, Cowards. I'm a little surprised nobody put this on my schedule because I am curious to cover it. I have heard it. It is interesting to me. The song's called Cro-Magnon Man. Let's give it a shot. And we'll change the backing here. Let's get some. Still think it was a good choice? I don't love that synth though. It feels very gooey.
The Cro-Magnon man lacks the wherewithal to influence the rest. But how many times do you dream of mist above the crest?
It's Squid of the experimental rock groups out of the UK. This is the one that has Squid's been the one that feels like the distant third compared to what Geordie Grief and Black Country New Road were doing. I don't love the vocal interplay either. Yeah. That groove is doing a lot to save it. Yeah, it does not sound like their debut at all. All right, that was Cro-Magnon Man by Squid from the album Cowards. Didn't care for it. I'll just say it. Like, I think I know why though, because you have that very fidgety synth that's blended midway back, where you're aware of its gummy presence, but it never really materializes and sounds more alien. And when you pair that with the vocals that are in the upper register and the attempted interplay with the feminine backing vocals, I didn't care for it. Like the bass groove is really nice, and I would probably have to sit with the lyrics and maybe think like what this means in a larger context. But yeah, I don't know. Like there's ideas that I think are promising there, but I think I can't say I endorse that one. I don't know. Like again as I was saying while the song was playing, I think that Squid are among the experimental acts that broke out in the early 2020s. I would not put Squid near the top of my list. In fact, I'd put them pretty low on that list. But again, if it's for you, if you get more out of it, I get it. Like it's one of those bands I'm like, okay, they're not my thing, but I understand why people like them. I also understand why they get a lot of critical acclaim. It is what it is. All right, next up. These are from the Moses Yoofee Trio. We got some German melodic jazz from the album called MYT. Cute. The song is called Gemini. Let's give it a shot. Get the lights up here. Here we go. There we go. That feels like it's stumbling over itself, like with the guitars. Tyler, this is not a request stream. This is all run through Bandwidth My Choices. I was very purposeful about not allowing request. The guitar timbres on this are odd. I wonder if it goes back to the original groove. It might be stabilized a little better. I don't even find this that weird. Like, I like the tone of the guitar that's doing all the soloing now. It doesn't match with the original tempo that they set with the song at all, but like... I think this is a band that struggles with transitions. Okay. All right, we're back to the original groove then. Okay. It's chill. I have opinions. It was a cute little jazz rock digression. That was Gemini from the Moses Yoofee Trio from the album MYT. Okay. There's a lot I like about that. I like the guitar tone. I like the soloing that happened in the midsection. That was impressive. I think actually the groove bracketing it is really good. It's a good melody that it actually stuck with me. And that was pretty good. I feel like the groove kept stumbling over itself, and I feel like the transitions weren't good at all, which is a problem. Like when you have, this is also very clear, this is their debut after a mini album that came out a couple of years ago. I feel like that can kind of be expected when it comes to bands that are trying to find their cadence, especially as the component parts of this are good. I feel like where things need to be tightened up a little bit is actually making sure they blend well, right? That transitional passage. As it is not bad. Yeah, like, I mean, it was certainly listenable, and I think there was component parts I like, but it feels like less than the sum of its parts. So, yeah, not bad though. And I can imagine this has not sold anything. Oh, I am very wrong. Actually, no, wow, they actually have an audience. Okay, go figure. All right. Yeah, the midsection with the guitar is my favorite moment. Yeah, that was nice. I will agree with that. All right, let's keep moving. Yeah, here we go. Making good time here. Some layered, dreamy dance pop with rock solid rhythm. This is from Skeleton. The album is called Mentalized, and the song is called Raw. Okay, let's hear it. We got some dance pop, some heavier bass and drums. That's what they're emphasizing. All right, let's hear what we got. Hopefully it goes hard. Initially, I'm a little surprised. Hey. There we go. Got it. Pretty sharp groove. Oh, I don't like this. Frontman sounds like the frontman of the guy who's leading this sounds like the frontman of Elbow. Drums are loud, but like I don't mind them. The groove that's being kept is good. It does feel very 90s. I will agree with that. There we got it. This is a song that's all about groove. There we go. I gotta lie, I do like this. Like, this reminds me of a very specific era of, like, dance rock that came out in, like, the 2000s. Like, I'll be able to describe this when the song's over, because there's a heritage to music like this. It is very familiar. I would agree with that. Killers is not the influence I'm thinking about. Killers weren't this weird. All right, that was Raw from Skeleton from the album Mentalized. I like that a lot, and I'll tell you why. It very much reminds me of a specific era of dance rock that was quasi-progressive rock. Like some of the progressive rock that was borrowing from the 80s and a little bit of the dance craze of the 90s, and it kind of hit their stride in the 2000s. I made the Elbow comparison because their frontman really reminds me a lot of this guy. The other thing I will highlight that comes to mind with this is especially that specific cadence of the dance groove, with the drums being a little too loud, but the song building that long crescendo. The immediate comparison that came to my mind was Block Party. Now, it's not Block Party in terms of the manic, wiry intensity, but in terms of that sort of timbre, there was something there. And like another one that comes to a little Silver Sun, Silver Sun Pickup's not really. But there were acts that had that dance rock flair in the mid 2000s, especially in the indie scene, that this kind of gave me that flair, especially with how regimented the percussion was. But to be honest, the groove was really good. And it allowed the guitars to actually manifest really effectively. I like that a lot. Yeah. Like it was definitely of its time. It's definitely, I'd say, more catering to a very specific brand of nostalgia. But I'm in that nostalgia barrier. And I also don't hear a lot of rock like this. Because a lot of dance rock tends to go for the very obvious disco pastiche. And this is not that, which I can respect. All right, let's keep moving here. Next up from Glare. Okay, we got more shoegaze coming. This is from Glare. The album is called Sunset Farewell. No, sorry, Sunset Funeral. And the song is called Guts. I got a lot of guts going on here. Let's give this a shot. Well, that's louder. I need the right lights here. That's much sharper. Lewis, I think you're right there. Yeah, this one's a bit of a tough one to gauge because I'm like, it was very forward. Like I clued into the vibe very quickly, but I don't know how the vibe is translating longer. Also, I really don't like that drum mixing. That sounds chalky. Okay. Yeah, the drum mixing is what's losing me here. I'm gonna tell you exactly why it's not hitting harder. Excuse me. Just gonna go back to the hook. Right here we... Yeah. I don't think this is bad. I just like... I have thoughts. Okay, that was from Glare. The song's called Guts. The album is Sunset Funeral. The drum mixing. That's the issue there. Because here's the thing. Initially, I was kind of into it because, like, the drums were louder. Like, a lot of shoegaze normally just wallows in that vibe. That sounded more immediate. But the problem is that the drum mixing, once you started paying attention to it, I'm like, oh, wait, that doesn't sound good at all. Because it sounds chalky and blown out, like it's clipping edges of the mix. And when you're doing shoegaze, where so much of this relies on atmospherics, like it's a real misstep in that case. I'm just gonna hang on a second. My fan was going, and I can be acutely aware of my hair getting flustered in the whole wind here. Anyway, not bad though. Like it's very much the sort of song that I feel like. Well, here's the thing. Once you get past the bad drum mixing, the rest of the song isn't much to write home about. Like the melody's okay, but the vocals weren't stellar. I didn't think the groove was all that exceptional because once you get into the drum issues, like it's hard to overlook. Yeah, yeah, I'm enjoying the chalky word. Well, I'm not enjoying the chalky sound, which is kind of the problem. Yeah, it starts at full force, but it never modulates from that force. And that's kind of what the thing is. Like, for a song like with Shoegaze, you want to be taken along the journey, and that kind of hits one note, then drops off, then tries to get back to the original note, and it's just, I don't know. I felt like that should have been better. That should have been much better than it is. All right, let's keep moving. Next song is a 7-minute jazz improvised drumming thing. Given, again, stipulations of song length, we're going to move past that. All right, next one, we got some electronic pop from this New York artist, from Amy Sos. The project is called Turn of the Leaves. That's the name of the song. It's about 4 minutes long. Let's give this a shot. Ugh. Let's also change the lights up. No, I don't care for that. There we go. Dream, you missed the jazz. That was earlier. Or is this giving me some very nice popping vibes? Yeah, the drums are nice. It's got a good pulse to it. The vocals feel ever so slightly off key with the rest of the groove here. It's a little distracting. Curious to see whether or not it resolves. Like it has some bedroom production vibes. I do agree with that.
Like falling leaves.
Oh, we're going 80s. Okay. I might have to be nice to this, sir. Like, for reasons I'll get to. Like, the vocal chops are interesting, but, like, it's also kind of messy. I don't know what this is trying to do. Or what tempo this is trying to be at. I feel like in terms of this sort of house song, it's spending a lot of time in the Uncanny Valley. I'm not sure it's the best choice. Okay, that was from Amy Sauce. It's a single, Turn of the Leaves. Okay, I'm gonna be nice. And the reason I'm gonna be nice is that it's a single. It feels like I don't think this person has anything else that's out. When I can tell, it doesn't look like she does. She's from the UK. The atmosphere was trying to be unsettling. I can very clearly get that vibe. But there's ways of doing the unsettling to sound scary or alien. That just sounds obtuse. And the reason I bring that up is because the vocal layering is very, like, she can sing. Like the vocal runs are impressive, but they're just off key with everything else. And it just feels, again, like it doesn't even feel avant-garde. It just feels off in a weird way. And then some of the change-ups, they just don't feel some of the transitions feel abrupt. It felt like I've talked a lot about a lot of techno and house that doesn't vary itself. That was varying itself a lot, but it feels like the ideas were not fully fleshed out. And thus the song just kind of lands at a very odd juncture. It feels like someone was trying to get a lot of ideas out all at once, and it feels, I'm just going to say it feels amateurish. Not saying, and I'm going to say that because I checked the number of people who engaged with this song, and we have precisely 3. So this probably has not received a lot of attention. And I want to be generous here because, again, I think the ideas are there, but I think there's refinement that is required if you want to make this come together. Because I think the singing was good. That pulsating groove, I liked that. But I feel like there's a better way to marry it than what we got. So, again, like sometimes you have to realize that the thing with Bandcamp, and this is something I don't generally like, is that I understand trying to position new talent, new rising acts, but I always think the curation of the new and notable is very well maintained, especially as I look at this and I'm like, okay, there's not even a lot of traffic behind this one, so you're putting someone out who doesn't even have a lot of groundswell, and I'm not sure what makes it notable. I don't know. Again, it wasn't for me. I hope she finds her audience. Let's keep moving. Next up, all right, we got some punk music. This is Bikini Beach. The album is called Cursed, and the song is called, I don't know, let's look it up. Liar, Liar. Okay, this could get very fun. Let's hear it. Oh, who doesn't like this? I'm not sure you want. We'll get to the Ty Segall influence because I can tell when somebody's using names for marketing. Good to know, Drew Game. I'll keep that in mind. Make this end a little faster. Yeah. I feel like I should like this a lot more. Okay. I like that riff. Well, it was going somewhere. No, it's not just hair metal. Nah, it's more garage rock. That was Liar Liar from Bikini Beach from the album Cursed. Okay. If you're gonna do meat and potatoes, garage rock, or like proto-punk, I kind of feel like you have to do a little more than that. Like, it's snotty. Apparently this band's from Germany. They got some energy to them. I get the appeal of it. Some of the riffs were all right, but don't make the comparison to Ty Segall. Like, Ty Segall is a more interesting composer. He writes sharper melodies. Like, he's snotty and nasal at points, but there's more going on. This felt very much like it's not juvenile, but it's running more on energy and like put the middle finger up. You can't tell me what to do energy than anything else. Like, I didn't feel like the composition was all that strong. I didn't feel the mixing was all that good. And when, like, there was a change up there in the midsection where the guitars got a little bit more beefy, and I liked that, but they didn't follow through. They went back to the same hook, and I didn't think the hook was very good. And again, when you kind of peter out to do that little hand clap for the very end, no, I've heard and I kind of expect better. Didn't really do it for me. All right. Okay, let's keep going here. All right, Dream informed me about some of the plagiarism stuff with some progressive death, and given I'm not a huge prog death fan anyway, fine with that. Next up, let's go. This is a concert, which we skip over. All right, we got some stadium rock decadence from Avalanche Party. The album's called Der Traum Alles. Oh boy. And the song's called Ecstasy. Let's give it a shot. There we go. Is a stadium rock ecstasy just making Britpop? Because if it is, that would make me smile.
Well, you feel so cold against my chest, but I love you, baby. Yeah, you're the best. Raise you up right to the sky. Well, I'm gonna love you till the day I die.
Oh wow, this is very Britpop.
I love you when you take me out of the dark. I love you when I point you into the light. Yeah, you and me are gonna stay together. Yeah, you and me are gonna live forever.
The groove is good here. Okay. Got a rock song here. But that mixing certainly is compressed to remind me of Oasis. I'm glad he's talking to me in the song. Wow, this is running on a lot of... Okay, we'll get to it in a second. I think the mixing's what I have the biggest issue with, but there's other things. There's some muscle to it, but like... Dario, you're absolutely right. Oh, I know what this reminds me of. Okay, I got it. Yeah, this is very obvious for what it is trying to do. That's tinny. Okay. Muse isn't a bad comparison either. That was Ecstasy from Avalanche Party from the album De Tram Ur Alaise. Okay. All right. I was struggling to get the perfect comparison with this. I hear a bit of Muse. I hear a lot of Oasis, specifically Be Here Now Oasis. That's trying to sound like big and loud and huge, especially with how bricked the mix is. What it reminds me of more of, though, early 90s U2, where it feels like it is riding on that swagger and that massive rock star attitude. But the thing with that is that U2 is kind of doing it as a parody of being a rock star, and they're trying to make a point. They're trying to make a quasi-ironic point about it, and then like Oasis just did it unironically. I feel like it's at the intersection of that. And you know what? Like, here's the thing, though. I thought Bono can sing better than this guy. Bono will sing like he cares. This guy kind of was trying to have a very swaggering, I am the coolest dude in the room vibes. And, like, there are points where it's close. Like, when the riffs are heavier, when there's a little bit more muscle to it, I could almost buy in, but the writing's not very good, and the mixing's not very good, and I don't know. Like, it's the sort of thing where I kind of want to buy into it more than I can. It's not bad by any means. I totally get why this band has fans and why they have built an audience. Certainly why they have so much like positive press in the UK right now. But yeah, you know what? We'll see where it goes. And here's the funny thing: we're about done here. We have one more song left, and I know it feels like this particular night has been a little odd because it feels like it's been like we bounced up and down. It started off really strong, then kind of petered out, but hey, that's all right. So, because this is a compilation, so we have just this one song here. This is the one on our schedule. And it's a collab album from some jazz. We're ending on some jazz. The album is called Huiman Johnson Wilks. It's named after the three acts here: Gregory Huiman, Josh Johnson, Sam Wilks. The song's called Freaka. Let's give it a shot. Some vibrant greens up in here. There we go. I always say yay jazz, but it's not doing a lot for me. Feels like it's kind of stumbling over itself. Well, it's going somewhere. I don't think I like where it's going. Yeah, that wasn't good at all. This is not good. This has to be improvised. It has to be. Yeah, okay, I'm right. Yeah. All right, that was Freaka from Huiman Johnson and Wilks. Oh boy. When you realize that that was improvised, it makes a lot more sense. Because it kind of feels like they were trying to get a stable groove with each other. Like the bass line was all right. But again, the horn felt really ugly. And the guitar work was kind of like muted, didn't really blend. And then they tried to switch it up, and that synth was god awful. Yeah, that was, yeah, thank God it was short, but, whew, geez. Yeah, didn't care for that. Did not care for that. And, okay, let's take a look what's here. If this is going to be good, synth pop, it goes from bright to hazy, stompy industrial edge, layers from Kinlaw, commands attention. You know what? I'm going to give one last shot because I don't want to end on a really bad note, and that was a bad note. Let's go for this Kinlaw track. It's not on my list in terms of what I was tracking, but we have some time. All right. And this is from the album Gut Check from Kinlaw. Let's give it a shot. Okay. Very industrial. That is certainly a trap percussion.
Knowing what I can't understand and I know where to get to.
Does it? I don't think it does.
This looks good.
I do not like the vocal processing on this at all.
This feels better. This looks good. This feels better. This looks good. Cut another chord so I can sing to the clap. Hard cut. One. I cut another chord so I can think and tick the clap. Hard cut. Yes, that.
Oh, jeez. Oh. God. Oh, jeez.
I'm the affirmation. I'm the businessman. This feels better.
No, it doesn't. That does not feel better. That was from Kinlaw. The album's called Gut Check. I didn't care for that at all. The trap percussion felt very stock to me. I don't think there was a lot of progression there. Those keening high frequency synths were really tinny. Just came in at the right time. Like, yeah, no, we're not doing like I'm not doing that. And then finally the vocals. Putting aside the bad vocal processing, it sounds like someone's doing a really bad Kesha impression. And no, I'm not sticking for that. Like, it just was not impressive. Like, I've seen people making the Igor comparison. I can't do that. Like, Tyler can produce better synth lines than that. Or like there's more lush melody that comes in there. There wasn't trying to do something this is closer to Cherry Bomb than anything from Igor. Yeah, did not care for that either. Yeah. All right, we're ending it off tonight. Apologies for ending on a bit of a down note. It does happen on occasion. But once again, thank you all for sticking around this long and watching. Again, I'm Mark, your host. You've been watching Bandwidth. Hopefully we'll be back here next Thursday, fingers crossed. In the meantime, though, I'm Mark. You're watching Spectrum Pulse. And I'll see you next time.